Hey, look, menu pog.
Really safe overall.
Gravitas doesn't change, man. This is their pick from last year to this year. New faces, but same old
Nah, but
shaker.
where is it going, man?
Okay.
Nah, but like, where are you putting the Shaco, man?
Okay.
Is it an AP Gragas mid and a Shaco top? Like,
Laning Zen?
like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing, man?
What are they doing, man? I don't know. Rusty didn't know either. Did you ever figure out what they were doing?
Yeah, it was a placeholder champion, I think.
It was, yeah.
I forget what it was.
Something
It
else
was
completely.
Vex, right? It was like the first time we saw Vex, and
I think you might be right.
yeah,
I think you're right.
So,
yeah.
unfortunate mishap there, and it just blew Rusty's brains out. Him going, where's it going? Where are we going? I don't know where I am. What year are we living in? Shaco a bloody ADC now. Now look, let's start talking Mammoth and Gravitas, because this one is going to be a feisty little affair. Mammoth is who we're going to be having a chat about first, and they looked okay yesterday, but it didn't work out as expected, of course. Last week, they had a very, very rough couple of teams they had to play against, so hopefully this week they might be able to find some more success, Skimmy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really valid point, right? They just had 4 games against some of the biggest teams in the region, so no doubt lots of lessons, a lot of VOD reviews, a lot of discussion internally as to sort of what can we take away from those games, what can we now bring into these next few games, right? Because if you've gone up against those giants, surely they're... Scrims are one thing for practice, but doing it in a competitive setting is something completely else, right? So hopefully for them now, things are going to be a little bit easier. Obviously up against Gravitas, a hot rival of theirs in years gone by.
Yeah.
The next few matches should be a little bit more kind.
I feel like they may be, of course, going up against Gravitas. It's going to be slightly easier than, of course, Pentanet yesterday with a vengeance, of course, and we'll see how this one goes for Gravitas, Rusty.
Yeah, look, both teams got smacked yesterday, right? There was a lot of one-sided games, but Gravitas were one of the teams that made it look not completely one-sided, even though they had that L in the end, right? There was a lot of impressive moments from them to highlight, and I think the beauty of it is we get to see if they are replicated again today, because there is definitely going to be action seen between a Gravitas and a Mammoth rivalry. No doubt there's a bloodbath, there's chaos, Mac. You never really know what you're going to get, and that is the beauty of this 1v1.
I'm just waiting for the point where Skimmy just screams out, "Are you not entertained?" like halfway through this game. I guess we'll see. Of course, it is a new patch since the last time they played, so we may see a few new champs in the Rift. I'm wondering, are we going to see any sort of pocket picks? Because we know a few of these players do have those pocket picks, do have those comfort champs, and that may be what we want to see from them. It's of course a slightly different roster for Gravitas as well since the last time they played. So we'll see if this makes it that little bit easier for Gravitas. I'm thinking, head to head, Mammoth probably still take the cake just off the back of like chemistry alone. Gravitas keep on shifting that roster, but what we saw from them yesterday gave me a whole bunch of extra hope. Now, into this one though, look, who we thinking? Like, what does Gravitas have to do to try to get another win on the board here, Skimmy?
I would literally just, copy their minds, their mental, everything from yesterday, copy-paste it into today.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that for me, at least, right? Same players. You just performed against Chiefs, who were giving you kudos and credit, saying, yeah, they gave us a run for our money. If you can do that on a consistent basis, then, yeah, as much as you move all these parts of your roster and bring in new players, new faces, new ideas, new identities, they're definitely going to give Mammoth a big chance for revenge and for redemption.
And someone that loves redemption, because they always get double-crossed, is Kitty. Everyone always treats her horribly, and she just needs to get a revenge at some point, right?
Oh, what?
Well, I do like the item redemption in League of Legends, but someone else who also really likes the item is Ree Fury, so let's bring him in. Hello, Ree Fury. How you been doing?
Hello. Yeah, good. Just playing League of Legends, as you do.
You tweeted me last night, and you were right underneath me on the ladder, I believe. So how has solo queue been?
Yeah, solo queue's been the same. I feel like I'm playing like the same, but everyone's just worse. Finally, getting close to your rank after years.
So yeah, rank 1. But let's talk about your game tonight. So You guys are going up. Well, you guys had a rematch against PG last night, which sadly resulted in a loss for Mammoth. But that puts an end to your super week of hell, as Skimmy would put it. Getting all the hard teams out of the way.
Literally.
What has the team learned using that? Yeah, what has the team learned from versing all those experienced players back to back?
You know, losing to the best players in the region is definitely a learning factor. I think losing is always not the greatest feeling, but versing the best and, you know, getting good is probably like the way to go, I guess. So, you know, get the super week done, verse the hardest team over and over again, and then it's just like should be clean on out.
Someone else who is looking pretty clean is Gravitas. So they do have a different lineup coming into today. It's Azus, Tishen, and Vixpa, where they almost took a game from the Chiefs. Which player in particular are you looking out for?
I think Vixpa, he's crazy. If you've seen him play before, he's a monster. Especially when he's playing Among Us, he just controls the whole game. So I gotta look out for that guy, but he'll definitely be the imposter this one.
Well, hopefully the crewmates win, and best of luck to Mammoth, and thank you for the interview.
Yes. See you next time.
See ya.
Such
ya.
a treat every time.
He always finishes sentences with a hand signal. Like, he's like, sometimes I'll see you on the leaderboard, and you're like, the kid just hits the salute back. That was a bloody roller coaster, wasn't it? Now, always
Really
good to hear
was.
from them, but good to hear as well that they are pretty confident going into this match today. Now, let's not waste any more time. We've got to jump on into the predictions, and this could get spicy, right? Who are we going for? I'm looking like, oh, Kitty, you're joining me on the Mammoth train, and then Gravitas for Rusty and Skimmy. Is this the comeback mechanic for you, Skimmy?
Yeah, Gravitas Glory. I've got the MP3 blasting in my headphones right now. You can't hear it, but production have done me a solid here.
Beautiful. Kitty, Mammoth. All right, why are we going for Mammoth in this one?
You know, I actually didn't expect two people to go for Gravitas. I thought most people would be on the Mammoth hype train. Just because Mammoth have been playing together a lot more than the new lineup that we are seeing from Gravitas. You know, this has only played like 2 games, but he has been really clean. So I'm not going to be surprised if Gravitas do win, but I think Fury has been just a little bit too clean on the Tryndamere.
Okay, true. Now, Rusty, talk to me. You've gone for Gravitas. Is it just off of the form we saw from them yesterday?
It's, honestly, it's because I want the Mammoth Gravitas head-to-head to be closer to even. Mammoth is pulling away, Mac. That's genuinely the reason that I went for it. I decided, I sat down this morning and I was like, I can't pick. So we followed a logic train of thought, and here we are.
Well, there you go. And Gravitas is at the end of the line, apparently. Now, before we jump on into the game, I need to ask, are we going to see Trend? Are we going to see Fury just running it all around the bloody Rift, smashing it with that AD? I don't know. Let's find out. Champ Select's ready, and it's going to be a banger. Let's go.
It will be a banger because date your mind back to how the split actually started out between these two teams. Mammoth up against Gravitas. It's our longest game to date so far. 42 minutes and 27 seconds. It had every twist and turn with souls being denied, Elder flips, Baron flips. Ultimately came down to who had longer respawns.
Yeah, look, 42 minutes, 42 flips as well. Different burgers at different objectives. Skimmy, it was one hell of a game.
Yeah.
Thinking back to that one, so very excited to see what gets provided for us this time around. And they really are the two teams that always deliver a good game of League of Legends when playing against each other. For better or worse. Often for worse for each team that continues to find new ways to throw. We'll see.
Well, Tryndamere has been away, so Mac won't get his wish of a run back for them. But hang on, let's not get baited. Is it getting locked in? Fury, it's your bread and butter. Everybody in the league bar you has played it. Your solo queue stats don't lie. Just give us just one time.
I mean, you've got Tally blind picking it, right? So I think there's a lot of teams that have a lot of confidence behind what a Veigar can provide. And to no one's surprise, Fury, definitely someone that would be considering this pick, is going to lock that one in. I would like to see Dajung just pick Syndra and just put it in the bin. Straight up, mid-jungle right now. You could even do like a Xin LeBlanc if you wanted, right? Just try and be super aggressive with it. But I think Syndra and something that outranges and has a lot of threat would work. Even an Olaf jungle, just quietly. Skimmy, I think a champion that we should be seeing a little bit more of as time passes.
Sure.
I'm an advocate of a good Olaf, not a bad Olaf.
This certainly could be fitting of the bill, right? Ragnarok OP. One thing I also found funny the other day, which maybe lost on people, perhaps they're going to call me out, was I saw Galio going into the cage, right? The Event Horizon when he does his charge. Then he's stunned once. It seemed like the most broken mechanic. So Dajong would have that available if you wanted to go for a more tanky option.
I straight up put that in my Discord the other day as well, Skibby, so nice timing. Yeah, Galio seems to have an odd interaction where he can channel his dash through the cage, get stunned, and then still dash forward or back. So you could look at that and say perhaps that's a really positive interaction to consider, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that this time around. With the Diana secured, you would expect a Yasuo ban. I'm very curious as to what it is that Gravitas are going to do for the rest of their draft. Need a physical damage champion. We know that nobody tends to just pick a weak side champion and accept the L. So it does kind of rest on Dajong to find a physical damage champion, and they've banned a magic champion.
Yeah, the Zoe one's interesting, right? They're going to say, we don't really care about your archetype, what it needs. We just know you're a really good Zoe. What's worth mentioning also is the last time Gravitas did play Diana in the jungle, Dajong then played Kiana. So, I don't know if it's the angle you want, maybe into a Veigar, but give you the AD.
Thresh is banned away. Yasuo is expected is going to be taken off, which is good. Yumi also being removed here from Rocco. Has the Zillion, has the Braum as two of his default follow-ups, but has been able to play things like the Nautilus. And we're starting to see a little bit more flexibility with Zeri as the support champions diversify with the pick. It's not just him. And we like that. We like the diversity. There it goes.
Yes, Bannermade to Nautilus now. Begs the question, will Mammoth just default to some champion like a Lulu, for instance, or will they consider still the options of hard engage? Hasn't been hovered here. We do know that's also another Re-Fury champion, but it seems a little bit silly, given the fact you've already got the Veigar locked in place.
Yeah, and you've got a Zeri locked in place as well, so Veigar's not going to be flexing the bot lane at all. It is just going to be a bit of a troll hover, something that we've seen from Voice almost every game, I think actually is a pass hover at this point. Almost glaze over. Lulu going to be locked in, takes away the potential of a Lulu, but it's a Karma matchup bot lane. So unless that Karma's flexing, again, it's so hard to predict a lot of drafts when a Karma is locked. Because in reality, that could be top, could be mid, right? Could be anywhere. You'd expect support though with Gravitas. So a really strong 2v2 actually is built down in that bottom lane. And would you believe it? Another Magic topside champion, weak side Gragas. You have to Yone or Kiana, right? Or Zed?
Yeah, you have to have something of just insane burst nature.
You've got to have physical damage.
Yeah, he just defaults back to it again. So that's what they've done before. They ran this mid-jungle pairing up against the Chiefs in their first encounter.
I don't get it. We can talk about this more once Mammoth finishes their composition.
It just feels like a double mid-jungle assassin in your face combo, which if it doesn't hit, pretty devastating.
Picks up one of his signature champions, you would say, the Shen. Not something that you often see from anyone else in the LCO.
No.
Not often seen in solo queue. But him and a couple of others.
About time we get some Shen.
It is about time. His matchup is a Gragas, lots of tools to cancel the ultimate. But still, if Gragas is going to be aggressive with mana usage, Shen has a pretty free time in lane, to be perfectly honest. And I would personally rather be the Shen in most matchups in top lane. If your taunt hits, you win lane. That's actually just the way it often goes. But Gragas handles it okay. It's all mid-jungle for me, Skimmy. It is just all about mid-jungle. Bot is volatile, but a Kiana and a Diana, if they get ahead, they're nightmare fuel. If they get behind, they're nothing.
And absolutely right. Like, that's the point we're really having to bring home here, is the fact that they are so reliant on snowballing a lead early. And if it was anything to go by after their last game, how long that went, will they be relevant by that stage of the game? Only time will tell. We talk about comfort. We talk about a chance to balance the books. If you want it in favor of Gravitas, then this is a draft that would certainly fit the archetype. Nobody playing a weak side or top side. Zeus, as well as Dajong, given tools to get in your face and pop off and perform. And then Thomas Shen on his signature Aphelios as well. It's going to be nice, though, to see that introduction of the Shen. But no shortage of engage options for them on the side of Mammoth.
Stops a fair bit of damage from the combo of Gravitas, though, right? If a Kiana is hitting level 6 and trying to engage on Fury, then suddenly the Shen's able to defuse that one. He survives and gets to walk away. One of the other things here as well is that Kiana, and we'll talk about this a lot during laning phase, needs level 3 to really be successful. So it's 3 free levels of scaling for the Veigar with no real health trades. So it's an opportunity to push waves out, reset back to base, even get a cheeky cloth armor in there potentially as well. Just lots of little extra time purchase. Dyna is also a level 6 jungler. So I can't help but feel like they have given Fury free scaling up until level 6. And then at level 6, if he survives any attempts, then the Veigar has scaled and the punish isn't real. That's my concerns with Gravitas' side. However, if they do get ahead, they are going to be in a commanding position to punish and to have a lot of priority and movement to side lane. You also can't feel safe next to walls if you are Zeri with the Kiana ultimate.
That's a really good point. One that shouldn't certainly be overlooked, right? The fact that Voice has shown in his Zeri gameplay, he's very keen to get in your face and navigate those walls, act like an assassin, and try to punish accordingly. Gonna have to really be on his tippy toes this time, or the punishment will be real. Loading in to the second game of the night. It's the rematch between two of these titans. Gravitas up against Mammoth, a game which always delivers some form of entertainment. It could be multiple kills, it could be a long slugfest, it could be flips like you've never seen flip before, but it's going to be entertainment all the same. And here to try and tell us a few things about this matchup, let's bring back the coach of Mammoth and have a quick chat with Ro.
Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, very well. I have to ask, we've been talking about it a fair bit on the desk recently. It really does feel like the strength of schedule was against you, right? Taking on the big four back to back to back. So looking back on that, what can you really derive from those games?
I mean, when I'm looking at those games, the thing that I think of is that really the basics, right? We had the Sivir and the Yuumi just yesterday, not the Yuumi, the Zillion, be really, really punished and just be unable to farm for an extended period of time. Just these basic stuff that in the early game, or even just 15 minutes, the game suddenly explodes and suddenly it's really, really hard to play. And that's what I think the focus is that they're catching us before we can even get to the later stages of the game. So I do just want to go back to basics and make sure that we can actually get through that.
I guess to extend that a little bit further, maybe more so on a personal note, do you enjoy preparing for multiple stack teams like that in a row, or is it more mentally taxing, jumping between the standings all the time and schedule?
I definitely think it's both a blessing and a curse that we have so many strong teams and then the weaker side, like the definitely. It's very interesting, and it's kind of like, okay, this is the hard week, we get that out of the way, and then we'll go on to the next one, right? And you're preparing up. And so I definitely think I like it. It's something interesting. Maybe next split, it'll be interesting to see how I go without it, but for now, I just take it on the chin and have a smile on my face, right?
That's the way, mate. Positivity. Love your work. Well, I wish you boys the best of luck in this rematch and for the rest of this week, eh?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Give me a full house fail, smile and wave.
I was just straight away flashbacks to the Penguins in Madagascar, right? There can be all these problems in your world, but you got a smile on your face.
Just smile and wave. Top lane, pretty good trade for Tron early as well that we saw on screen. A couple of things here, as Mayfan might be looking at bot lane. I mean, that's an odd angle if this works.
How do they force this? Are they just flashing forward? Okay, well, Thomas Shen has to respect it. He's the one actually has to flash away in the end. Just a mere presence of a level 3
It's quite wild that just gets anything. You see him, you walk away. But hey, the heal was used by Voice as well, so flash a big cooldown, but at least it was a summon a spell trade. Mayfan also reveals his location on the map, has wolves to go back to, and has a full top side to clear as well, whereas Zeus... Well, Mayfan is playing solo queue.
Say it ain't so. He's come back again. Oh, he's tried the buff, and the wind becomes lightning. And ultimately, does not get punished for it. That's first blood.
I feel like Mammoth are just winning the 2v2 either way, right? The punish in this 2v2 has been so good from Voice and Rocco that Mayfan just gets to come along for the ride. You've got a Dyna that's going to take Krugs. Surprised it wasn't Raptors to Krugs, just because it's safer to get the Krugs second. Depends on how the Xin plays, and the ward's now going to go down from Refury. So it'll be a CS trade. The Xin suffers, but he gets the kill. So that's just a big win overall for the side of Mammoth.
Excellent control of the lane, right? The fact that the 2v2 works in their favor where they are, just taking those trades in their face. They are forcing out a flash. They just run it back. Just come through lane again. And now Thomas Shen is up a creek without a paddle, no summoners, down CS, and just wants to farm.
Yeah, he's down a full wave. It doesn't feel too great. We'll be able to collect what was left in bottom wave. Vixpa tried to hold the freeze for him. No imposters this time around, to be perfectly honest with you. Played that one fine. Zeus gets his first reset off. Mayfun has decided that resets are not worth his time. Till now, he's going to sweep his way through first. So on the map a lot faster is the jungler of Gravitas here, Skimmy and Dajung. Not able to do anything just yet to the tier of Refury, the tier Mana Crystal with Predator Boots, I might add. Lots of damage can go down onto this Veigar if he's able to find his moment. But so far it has been business as usual, just casually farming.
As you rightly pointed out, for the side of Gravitas, they want to hit level 6 as quickly as possible. And at that point, the Kiana can certainly cycle through the elements, unleash a whole host of damage, and look to try and bridge the gap before the AP scaling becomes a little bit too ridiculous here for the Veigar. We're going to have to be careful though in the bot lane here because, I mean,
The blast code angle.
Mayfun is just hunting
There's
in the
a
area. They
blast
have no
code
vision.
angle.
Vixpa, don't do that. Please, Vixpa, run away.
Oh.
You need to flash. He's going to wait it out for the Xin Zhao, and there it is.
This Xin Zhao has decided that there is one game in League of Legends. He is going full Nunu. And Mayfun will continue to gank bottom lane until it wins the game. Refury cage down in mid, but Dajung also half health. Nice little trade for the Veigar. Any even trades is a winning trade against an assassin, really. You want to try and trade advantageously, however. Top's chilling. Tron also level 6, by the way, so Mammoth can be much more aggressive with their skirmishes. Even if the ult gets cancelled, the shield value, right, can be quite a difference.
Stand United can have a huge impact in this game, right? Especially when you're looking to try and be protected from these diving assassins. That shield may just be enough to layer on top of a wild growth if you are the focus. The fight then fizzles out against you.
No way he was still bottom, by the way. There's just no way. If this guy resets, does Raptors red to bot gank, I'll be immensely impressed with his tenacity. I almost said audacity. That's a Gravitas.
Just give us all.
Yeah, no, tenacious man.
I wonder what the comms are like for Mammoth so far, right? Their bot lane just screaming, just gank these bot laners, they have no sums, easy, free.
Or it's Mayfun just saying, I'm coming bot.
True.
Okay.
Just another solo queue game for them. Just happens to be that a few thousand people are watching alongside them.
Zeus is, a fair amount up, is about to get the double camps here as well in level 6, so he's in a pretty good position to look for an opportunity to gank. The logical choice is always going to be towards mid lane. If he can get a gank off bottom, though, it'll be huge as like an equalizing factor, let's say. But can we just acknowledge that the CS is still even bottom? You know, it's not that Mayfun has outright won the game by ganking it this many times. He's given a nice little early advantage to Voice and to Rocco, but that hasn't translated into anything across the rest of the map.
Yeah, it's huge credit, really, to Thomas Shen, right? The fact that he can make sure, even though, First Blood goes against him, his impact will still be felt in this game. Dajung there looking for the stun. As the first interaction between double mid-jungle does come about. Karma also roaming topside. Vixpa, I will say Vixpa and Thomas Shen have actually flipped the map state for this Herald.
Yeah, but Shen has stayed. And the Lulu was here, so it's just a 1v1 between a Gragas and a Zeri bottom lane. Gragas has teleport, so there is obviously a distinct advantage here for the Gravitas side if a fight were to happen. I would ideally want your Shen down there, right? Because then a Zeri can get the Shen shield, and it's not just a teleport, it's a more relevant teleport. Because you can go straight to the fight. Current teleport is a little bit average for objective-based combat. So it will just be the Herald secured. And Zeus now knowing that Shen has showed top lane, it's free real estate.
Yeah, gonna zone him away, right? Tron the Palm is forced to back away to his second tier turret. As Mayfun is just going to take the opportunity to clear out all the bottom half of this jungle. It's free. There's your red buff, that's gone. I'm going to look to try and bridge the gap of all that CSU able to achieve nice and early. But Thomas Shen has the chakrams.
Yeah.
And those plates are just going down. Would not be surprised if Azu says, we're going to go for tempo here. You're trying to do the exact same bot side. We're just going to instantly summon the Herald and get the first turret.
I don't mind the idea of staying top when you've got red-white weapons. You know, the chakrams do so much damage to structures that no one's going to be able to race you. For Gravitas here, Thomas Shen and Vixpa should probably push this wave in, try and make it crash. Don't force the crash. If Tron's staying here looking for a taunt, something's obviously up. And then just reset back to bottom lane. Play with your Gragas, even threaten a gank if they don't back away. Because there's still 2 plates left on this turret. So Gragas always has a little bit of kill threat in situations like this. We've seen it more than once.
Yeah.
It was Trom specifically, Tron that did it. Throw the Gragas ult with minimal minions left. Knock them under turret as the minions die from the ult. Suddenly it's on.
Yeah, aggro drops from the minions onto you instead. And suddenly in a weak side situation like this, you're not just holding on, you're actually just winning. So, as you can see so far, Total Gold Graph, it is a big battle between those 2 AD carries, but you might be feeling a little bit left to the lonesome as to why Voice's lead isn't as big as it should have been, given the amount of impact that the Zen showed in those early stages. Obviously, credit to Gravitas going for the lane flip that wasn't matched. Next to Herald, next to turret.
Well, one of the differences here is Zeus versus Mayfun. It was a big equalizer for him, right? To be able to get the turret plates up there. Having 3 people at the turret as well means more localized gold goes to Voice and Rocco when they're hitting turret plates. So that really is the trade-off. A couple less plates, but a bit more specifically localized money. Got Drake up in 20 seconds. Here's Skimmy. Both teams now going to start posting up towards this one. Kiana and Diana, both ready. No mythics, but level 6. A pretty significant factor for skirmishing.
Yeah, level 9 not too far away as well, so that first ability fully maxed out for maximum impact at this early stage of the game. First Drake was achieved there by Mammoth, as you would have seen, given the amount of impact they found in the initial parts of this. And they're going to set themselves up with 4 members strong in the river, going for the second one. Now they decide to go for the engage as Zeus jumps in, instantly cops an exhaust, flashes away as well, and Mayfun follows him, going to take him down. So now Gravitas do not have a jungler. Thomas Shen forced to flash away. Voice loses vision. Voice now in trouble. Receives a bit of a beating from this Karma. Going to get bound as well because he can't run away from this Kiana, which is devastating with a double kill.
Mayfun hunting. Nobody low.
He's going to get away. Good disengage.
Good flash away from Nobody at the last second there. Thomas Shen also got hit by the Wind Becomes Lightning from the Xin, so there was a real chance Mayfun perhaps went for the play, especially with Rocco still around and able to support him. And it seems like it is just going to be a play that fizzles out after the fight. Neither team willing to take the risk of going for the Drake. Gravitas with a numbers advantage. Mammoth with a health advantage. Rocco trying to have the widest flank in history, finds Vixpa, and that slow should get him away safely. So well measured by the Karma, but that will secure the Drake, because again, that health advantage is just a little bit too prolific.
Yeah. Respawn, redeploy, right place, right time, right punish the fact that Gravitas stayed looking for another turret plate. But it was a huge fight, right? 10 flashes were burnt in that exchange. Really looking to try and find that the early chance to pop off, and rightfully so. You know, it is the Kiana that gets the 2 kills.
Tron's taunt here, taunt flash, doesn't go even remotely close to Thomas Shen, who's standing there ulting. So he's able to get a big ultimate off and a big setup for the fight. Puts in a lot of work here, honestly. Re Fury just gets taken down. Dajung hits a pretty solid ultimate. Not a lot of standout players in a fight like this because there was a lot of individual fighting happening, all at singular moments. Tron gets into the backline, tries to do what he can, can't do anything with Vixpa, who flashes it expertly, and Dajung's really the hero of this one for Gravitas. And for the side of Mammoth, Mayfun, now 2-0.
It really does now become a bit of a battle between which engage works better at this stage of the game, right? Dajung could be a little bit frustrated, no doubt, right? The ultimate went out, didn't connect. His primary focus was on towards Rocco's Lulu. But thankfully for him, can snipe across the wall, dash back into action, and still secure that double for them. So 2 kills apiece now As we hit that 14-minute mark, the plate's going down. Gold is still in Gravitas' favor, despite Mammoth picking up those 2 Drakes, however.
Hey, you remember that conversation that Rogue had about Enchanters not getting punished in bottom lane, which is why Enchanters are free right now? Consider Veigar the Enchanter of mid lane.
I see it, yeah.
He's even in farm. The one death is from an objective-based fight, right? So he's not getting punished for existing in lane. Veigar scales unbelievably hard, and he's been given the free reign to do so. Not enough drafts to punish Veigars.
Yeah, I think the best example we had, right, was Tally's game, where he hit 1k ability power.
Tally straight up saw one champion from the opposing team and blind picked the Veigar. Like, it is a turbo Chad. Highly punishable, in my opinion, anyway. Move, but doesn't get punished. Gets away with murder. I like it. If it works, do it.
Second herald picked up here by Gravitas. The cost is what would seem high initially, as Mammoth have gone for a 4-1 split, planted 4 in the mid lane to try and put some damage into this mid tier 1. That's going to go down to 50%. The bot turret, however, does fall as well to match. But not before Gravitas answer back and say, well, we're the ones with the herald. We have better pushing power than you.
Herald going to be very big for that, like you highlight. Also, the top lane inner turret is the one that falls, so a lot of extra money for the hands of Gravitas. Refury is going to stun up the Herald to make sure it doesn't get another charge off. Mammoth looking perhaps for a collapse. Rocco thinking he might be a bit of a Nautilus with the amount that I've seen him flanking. It's getting a bit wild out here.
It has been, hey? Have you ever seen the flanking Lulu Whimsy? This is new tech.
Lulu actually very good at helping your team get picks, to be fair, if he is flanking. The slow on the queue is a very large percentage, polymorph. But also you're like a 100 HP, just fragile enchanter, so gotta be careful.
You hit the polymorph, your team gets the A.
A lot of loud noises from Refury.
Yeah, worth.
So many champions are so loud.
You think they do it consciously when they're designing champions?
They want to make them loud.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, how would that, how would that design meeting go? Yeah, let's just get some really annoying voice lines in here.
We've decided
sure
when
you're
Diego recalls, we want a dog. But we want it to be, like, stupidly loud. And acoustically, you're not sure where it's coming from.
Could be maybe like a psychology paper, right? You know, dog tends to be a man's best friend. So, you know, when people are tilted in these high-pressure situations of solo queue, just give them a dog in game. Why not? Make them happy. Not as happy as Refury would be, because he's realized, hey, this is not looking too good right now. I'm in a whole world of pain and punishment, but not when I can hit my ultimate like that. Goodbye, Kiana. Dead and deleted. There's a shutdown. Thank you very much. There's Zeus as well. I say Zeus, it's voice. He's looking like Zeus because he drops the thunder from above, and it's a double kill.
Yeah, Mammoth just clean up. Thomas Shen in trouble. Nobody on a flank.
The triple. It's looking like it. Does he still dive? You wouldn't put it past him. First fire, a little bit too strong.
Easy money. The 3, 1, and 2. Zeri puts in some serious work. That movement speed obviously going to be very clutch here with the ult that comes out of Zeri. And that fight starts on Gravitas' terms. It was not the best combo. It wasn't a combo, in fact. It was just a Kiana looking for a flank on Refury. Look at the health bar on this Veigar, by the way. It's about 2,000 health right now. Just gets smashed. It was a Karma with a Mantra Q. That was the only other damage source that actually connects onto Refury. And I can't help but feel like if you're going to make those plays together, you want to see your jungler on the same screen as your mid laner to have the right damage to actually execute that one. Or someone else that does damage, to be perfectly honest. But you make the mistake, the damage is done. They get the first kill. Zeri ramps up. Zeri is unstoppable.
That's what you love to see. The best part for me was the Tony Hawk moment afterwards. You know, just hits the skateboard out. He's out to safety. Job done. No? Maybe have a tactical pause, clean your hands, and keep playing fresh, because it's looking good so far for the side of Mammoth. Still, though, very close with the goal. That's the thing that always eludes me, right? When you do see these like strong starts for teams. We saw it already tonight. A team with all the control when it comes to objectives. But your opposition is still finding ways to answer back. And I'm sure a lot of that comes down to plates and turrets and farm as a whole, but they're keeping it close.
now we've got a posted up side laner right now of the Kiana. It is going to be a Philios and Karma planted in mid lane. Just looking at what's going to result of these side lanes existing, Refury is one of those champions that if the vision isn't in his favor, there is say a Diana and a Kiana, not this combo. Diana and a Kiana, the risk of dying is still there, so lots of respect to be paid. It means that Vega has to really be supported by the rest of his team. However, we are close to, I think that's an Anathema's Chains. And it makes a lot of sense. I do think that is a fantastic item choice in this game. There's a conversation that you could have about Zonias, right? Just because they're assassins, like a Diana ultimate or a Kiana ultimate can be Zonias.
Sure. But
Anathema's just straight up gives you so much. Statistically, it's an insane item. Reduces damage assassins do to you as a blanket rule. And Vega is one of those champions that can just go for tanky items. He'll get damage naturally.
They're going to have a much more active role in this game, right? Rather than going to the stasis effects and wait for his team to come in and try and back him up. More lockdown. More survivability. That's what they're hoping for. Anything but really here for Gravitas as they go hunting, and apparently quite scary. Because now the Moonfall comes out onto free. Zeus goes golden, but he needs backup. Where is that damage? They're locked inside the event horizon. Refury on a flank. Have you ever seen a Vega do this? Well, it's working out because he's still somehow alive. Illegal gaming.
Yeah. Look, they face check, they double down on a play that wasn't real. They then decide to triple down and flash Diana ultimate. No Yasuo in the team, by the way. It is a Kiana, and so they're not going to find any kind of combo, especially not if you're flash ulting them into the middle of the open air and not terrain. Suddenly the fight goes back the way of Mammoth pretty easily in the end. Refury has enough time to get a flank off, even though he does get quite low. He doesn't die. Mammoth will win the fight pretty handily. And we're starting to look at a pretty one-sided affair here, Skimmy. We'll see this one more time. Zeus, this is a bit far. And by a bit, I mean extremely far. Gets exhausted. The stopwatch is nice to buy time, but Refury just locks them all in a cage. Dajung's best effort here is to try and take out the Vega that has locked him in. But really nothing doing past the point that Diana was dead and is now 0-3.
Yeah, it's rough, right? And it just goes back to, Chancellor, when we were talking about the fact that this mid-jungle, it's so rough. Because it's either going to look fantastic, you're going to pop off, and the show's all going to be centered around Jill. But if you fall behind, you're jumping in, you're saying, look, I've locked 3 members in place, let's go. And, it fizzles out very, very quickly. And now the Zeri is just looking pretty much unstoppable. Back-to-back skirmishes, back-to-back triple kills.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there is still enough damage to take apart Voice, I think, here as well. Blade of the Ruin King, second item, not always seen by any means from Azeri in terms of builds. You often see a Titanic Hydra or a Tiamat purchased. And then a Hurricane. Amarani wants the lifesteal, I guess, as a higher point of value for him. Curious, but it is the on-hit build. I suppose he doesn't want to go for the Bloodthirsty path. Anathema's is also done, so I would presume that it is Dajung that has been selected as the nemesis. Now, if a Kiana couldn't kill the Vega before, he has absolutely no shot at a 3,000 health Vega that you're doing reduced damage to, and stunned for longer durations verse with your Boots of Lucidity and no cleanse that exists. If you get stunned, you may as well put the pot of coffee on.
Get the caffeine, get the juices flowing, and load into the rift for the next game.
Watch
There is the Nemesis stack. Dajung has been, he's been hanging out here for a very, very long time. Whilst the entire push went on, he's been looking for the biggest flank, the biggest long con, the biggest supreme display of talent, and he will die looking for that opportunity. Mammoth a little bit too strong so far. They're low, but the stasis effects are broken. The resets of these cooldowns is too strong. Triple team fights, triple kills.
I mean, the reality is that fight from Gravitas was good 10 minutes ago, but Voice is just a bit too clean with it right now. Easy navigation of the team fight, the perfect support scoreline for the top lane of Mammoth as well. Tron the Bomb, 2 goose eggs and a 12 in the assist column. And Refury with the longest flank wraparound you've ever seen was almost not needed. That's how much damage was coming out of the rest of that squad.
going to break open the base in this game. But just look at this fight. It starts off with the Kiana, but the exhaust is clutch.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to fight every time exhaust is available and you go in one at a time, you're going to get exhausted, right? It's going to remove a lot of the efficiency of that. Voice just space gliding, man. He's ice skating around the river right now. Very easy stuff for him. Well played. Full credit to the side of Mammoth. I think they're playing a solid game. They should be very happy with what they've been able to get done so far, but just no punish available for the other side. And I can't help but feel like they drafted themselves into this hole.
Sure. Because, I mean, now if you're realistically looking at what is there out, well, you're not going to find it from the Gragas unless you're finding a huge explosive cast to try and serve a key bounty target for an execution. But where are you going to find that execution from, right? The fact is that you mid and Jog got to jump in for that one, probably going to die in the process of it. Yes, so Zonia's for the Diana, but Aphelios is severely lagging behind.
Yeah, and this was the Aphelios they tried to put a lot of effort into as well. Ooh, nothing doing. That was
just
a
a desperation,
disengaged pushback.
Pure panic. Ult and run away. Soul's quite nice. More damage, why not?
Yeah.
It's a battle really between which Yordle can flank better. Is it the Lulu? Is it the Veigar?
Yeah, the battle is within the own team. Brave Fury pushing mid. Has gone for the Zonias. I don't know if it was ultimately necessary with the Anathema's done, but it still has its usefulness. I don't think he was going to die to the combo, so I think in reality you could have considered a movement speed item. Like honestly, like Dead Man's a force of nature, but this is me picking a Veigar that is stupidly far ahead's item. It is what it is.
That's a really good push. Timing is perfect. A minute on this next Baron. Back to base they go. Continue to be that much further ahead of your opposition. Current gold score will show they're up by 9,000 gold, but for the most part, you're looking in individual lanes. It's an item and a half.
Yeah, look, no matter how Mammoth is skimmy, I don't see a way back for Gravitas. It's an Infernal Soul. It's a composition that has a lot of consistent damage. You're going to get insane value from it. The Assassins aren't going to be fed enough to kill anyone. Just full stop. Your only option is Rocco, but he has exhaust every time you try and fight. You've got to find a pick. There's literally no other solution but pick a bush. Hope they walk into it by themselves.
Yeah. Right now it feels like a bit of a tiki tour. We're just going around the map, visiting all the landscapes, getting out the camera, taking photos. A tourist in your own backyard. And just really watching Mammoth systematically win this game.
I have vision of all members of Mammoth walking towards the Baron. So you can see with that ward right there that the Baron is being done. Dajung is pestering Fury, but it's not going to stop the Baron from being hit just yet. And Tron the Pom is winning the game bottom. The Mammoth just disengaged. It's just fine to make this play. Gravitas are now on a clock. And the clock is steadily running out of time.
Very smart here from Mammoth. They're hitting them with the checkmate situation, right? We're not going for the Baron. We know that this is the biggest flip. You've got your aprons ready, your spatulas polished and ready to boot too. But you need to do something. If you don't, the Shen will just win this game.
Yeah, Gravitas walking on eggshells and something's got to crack for him real soon. Baron gets hit again. Gragas shows bottom. No teleport angle where a Shen always has it. Fighting mid.
Well, we were fighting. Was it a fight? He's already dead. Aphelios is out of the game once again. Rocco might die in this exchange. Is challenging Smite enough? I think it is. But it is Vixbit that picks it up with the Ignite of all things, actually. Nobody running away, but he's locked inside the Octagon. It's UFC Wrestling. It's a triple kill now found for the Veigar. And, well, 2 members left on the side of Gravitas now to defend their base.
Yeah, it's the mid laner and the support, however. The ultimate is there for Dajung, but he doesn't have much damage. They're flashing in.
Yeah, they've gone in for him, and he's going to hit the ult one more time. A parting gesture. 40 seconds to think about where this game went wrong. But for Mammoth, elation, pure elation. 29 minutes on the dot. A far quicker, a far cleaner game into their direct rivals. And they're going to claim the 2-0 in their second meeting.
A very easy victory at that for them in the end. We've seen some positives from Gravitas yesterday, even though it was a defeat, right? Reasons to perhaps get excited for this game today, but unfortunately, I think we saw Gravitas go back to what we saw of them last week, which is some pretty rough play from top to toe. Really no winning situation for them. And it's good to see Mammoth back in their winning ways, Jimmy. Good to see them back to celebrating, because they are one of the most vocal teams that I think we'll see, both with gestures and with words spoken as they get those dubs in games. They got a lot to say, don't they?
They certainly do. A team brimming with charisma. I just like the comparison once again between the AD carry, Elation, just jumping around, happy as you can be. And then you just got your support player with the bunny ears on, right? The cat ears, sorry. In the darkness, just posing. Yeah, cameras on me. Celebration. Here we go, Mac. What are we thinking? What's the pose?
Not terrible. Look, not terrible. Just stroking the chin, thinking about what they need to do tomorrow to back it up and get another dub on the board, back to back, surely. Like that is what they need to be doing, right? Like this game against Gravitas should have been, well, I don't know. I was going to say should have been a little bit easier, but at the same time, I was watching that and I was just thinking, for the majority of the game, it looked really good for Mammoth, right? Like Voice was just all over everything, all over everyone. Anything that anyone threw towards him, he just was not taking any damage. And you could see on that, I think it was like second last Drake fight, we did see them really focus him. But issue was, look, he had a huge bounty on his head. That's great. Unfortunately, they just didn't have the damage to kind of follow up with anything. And you just had the rest of Mammoth just sort of kind of behind him, poking away, you know, chipping away at the health bars, and then everyone just died. So big plays coming from Mammoth. And I think my favorite thing that I saw from them was after that, they didn't overextend, right? They just went and cleared out the blue side jungle, tried to sort of cut off any chance of getting more gold for Gravitas, instead of just opting to just smash it through the inhib, maybe take a fight that wasn't a winning one with the people who were there on the respawn. So just, you know, macro overall looked like Mammoth just were really, really that one step ahead today, Rusty.
Yeah, Mammoth definitely were one step ahead. I think they were playing around their own vision, right? They were working together. Rocco and Mayfan were on the board as a duo very often, which is what you want to see. Voice was hitting his team fights, as you expect from Voice, I feel like, at this point for Mammoth, very well. It does seem like he is a bit of a team fight monster in the AD role, and Tron was playing support, right? Just a quiet achiever up there in top lane. Handled the Gragas very easily, controlled lane, and was able to help control the map as a result from that one. But game really was jungle support gap, and decision-making from Gravitas was the major downfall.
Well, looking into this one, of course, you know, there's a bit over a 10k gold lead as well. It's fucking absolutely insane, to be honest. And I feel like, look, 5 kills is all that Gravitas ended up getting. I thought that they would have easily had some more than that. But of course, Mammoth, like 20 and 5. We're looking at a couple of people with some really high kill participation in there as well. And I need to ask, actually, with the Zeri build, I'm thinking, like, what's going on? Can someone explain that to me, Rusty?
I think for me, because he's committed to the on-hit build. So first of all, this is like, let's just say congratulations first on your win, Voice. You did well. You had Ingenious Hunter and didn't build any active items. You're a confusing man. But you've gone for the Trinity Force on-hit build. Blade of the Ruin King, I think, just gives him that extra lifesteal and a bit of mobility. So it could be a case of like the Lulu's going to play with the Xin, so you just want to be more self-sufficient, kite out and survive. And kiting was definitely a pretty big factor with what he needed there. Yeah, I still... Personally, I haven't seen that build that often, but I get it, right? It's on hit, it works nicely with the Trinity Force build. It's not a crit blood build, so it's not stacked.
There we go. And someone else that loves a little bit on hit builds is Kitty, probably. I don't know. If you ever build on hit support?
I did build Berserker Greaves on Lulu this one time, but I do love on-hit ADCs. But someone else who loves on-hit ADCs is Mayfan, so let's bring him in for the interview. Hello Mayfan, congrats on your win. How are you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good. That was a really clean game from all of us, and I think if we keep this up, we're playoff contenders.
That was definitely a very clean game, especially from you. And I've always wanted to ask this. So your name is Mayfan. So do you want to explain to the audience why you decided to choose this name?
It's actually supposed to be like a little joke, because as you can see, like, my name is Bai Rice, and in Chinese it would mean no rice. And that's like, I was sitting there for like 10 minutes, like maybe even an hour, just like, what should I make my pro name? So I asked my team, they're like, you know what, just do something funny. I'm like, you know, my humor is not that good, so I was like, whatever. Mayfan it is, and that's it.
You said there's Mayfan, but you guys are definitely eating good tonight. Let's talk about drafts. So you guys picked Shen and Veigar. Those two laners actually provide a lot of CC, especially for the Xin Zhao pick. That means the game was definitely all eyes on you. What was the win con going into that match?
Oh, well, it was honestly just get 3 items on Zeri and just watch him 1v9. But like, I mean, just watching the game state was just like, we can just win every fight. Like our Veigar was so accelerated, our Shen, you know, he stopped every single dive. I can just ult their engage away. So it's just like, we just watch Zeri 1v9 or we just have our individual highlights.
And you talking about Zeri hitting 3 items, we actually saw you ganking bot lane quite a lot. And let's talk about your first gank in bot. So your first gank in bot was actually a lane gank where you were fully on vision, walking through the minions. How did you mind control Tomashin to walk up and burn that flash?
I had no clue. I didn't even know it was warded. I was just like, I asked, can I lane gank this? My bot was like, yes, we can. And then I'm like, sure, fuck it, I'll go. And then, well, it works. And then I guess we're the master mind controllers, and it works. It just works.
It does work, but something that doesn't work is swearing on broadcast. So, you know, I'll let you go for this time, Mayfan, but keep that in mind. But thank you for the...
I got a little
it's fine,
hyped.
it's fine.
My bad. A little excited.
It's fine.
It's good.
Anyone
Like,
would be
last
hyped
time-
after that.
Last time it was like Gravitas and us was like close, and then we were all disappointed. But like this time we showed that like there's a big difference between us. And I think that's how it should be. Like we all have like the individual skill, is what we think. Yeah.
You guys all definitely did really well individually, and even as a team, you know, showing off that you guys do have a huge gap in between the two teams. Well, thanks for the interview, Mayfan, and hopefully have a good night's rest.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Good to finally chat with Mayfan. Is that the first interview we've had with him?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, okay, so finally giving him some airtime. Now, of course, it's not all about the interviews, it's all about who's playing good in the Rift today. And look, I'm not even going to ask you this time. I think it's pretty straightforward that the player of the game was the big man, Rocco, because he had so much KP. 90%, he was all over the place, didn't steal a kill at all, and did his job perfectly, Rusty.
Yeah, I mean, he did very well. A lot of this, like, to be fair, we were joking during the game about his ability to flank as a Lulu, things that are unexpected. But when it came to crunch, he was there with his Xin Zhao. He got it done, and never really a misstep from the support of Mammoth. Had the jungler in his pocket very early, to be fair, but made it work.
He certainly did. Now, Skimmy, I'm looking at that 38 wards placed. Is that good or bad? And Rusty, I don't want to hear from you, all right?
Okay.
That's always good, right?
good.
You know, more is good. It's as simple as that. I think he was the ultimate ward because he was running at them like a man possessed.
Yeah.
Certainly saying this is a kill angle, right? You know, every time they're going in, it was just literally we said it during the cast, right? It was a battle between the two Yordles who could hit harder, but ultimately they couldn't die. So they tried as they might, but they're just too good.
Just too good. Now, let's have a quick chat about from the fans. We got to bust through this one because there's 5 doggos and catos and Rados and whatever else has been said in. Cosmic RE pass. I'm still working on that one. I don't want to screw it up. Either way, Cheeky Kitty with some Pentanet tattoos. I don't know if that is legal, Rusty.
Get some real tats and then we'll talk. Cosmic. Straight on the cat is what I mean. Go on.
There you have it. Now, let's jump into pet number 2. Rakan is amazing.
Not a bird.
Rakan looking V-tied of my stuff. Thank you, Carrick, for that. Now, any bird fans on the desk here?
I just like the caption, eh?
Very good, very good. Now, we'll jump on over to pet number 3. I believe it is Spider Laura with a cute little lab. Big old snoot, front and center. Does he look happy? I don't know if it looks happy. I think it's just chilling.
He's happy. He's just
Looks
content.
relaxed.
That's
Living the
content.
life.
He's
What
just
a beautiful backyard, hey?
Yeah, being one with the grass,
Touching some
Just
grass.
letting everyone know that it's healthy to touch grass on the odd occasion. Now, jump on over to pet number 4. What do we got here? Rise Unlisted with a very... Kitty, what's this cat doing?
This is honestly just me every single day, every single hour, every minute. This is just me. Like, I have nothing else to say. This is literally me in a picture.
Yeah, just chilling, looking up, you know, expecting.
This feels like a holy moment from the cat as well. Like they're experiencing a higher power.
Yeah, just like some crazy thing going on. Now we have a last one to have a quick look at as well, and it's Sebisaur, pet jungler from the X5 house back in the day.
Jesus.
Okay.
That's sweet.
What's Guts doing in there?
Oh, that's Guts.
That's guts.
Why have you been locked up, mate? What's happened here?
He didn't lock in Zach in a competitive game. You get what you get.
How long has he been in there? That's what I want to know.
Well, has anyone checked on him? Because it's been, what, 5 years since then?
Yeah, right. Okay, well, I've seen him type in Twitch chat, so they've at least provided him a mobile to sort of, you know, get on Twitch and still at least watch League from the cage. So, you know, hopefully, I wonder if he's in chat. Either way, look, we got that third game to get to, and it's a banger. It's going to be the one a lot of people have been waiting for. Order up against Peace, and both of these teams, they need that dub. They want that dub. Let's see who wants it more.
He's been hanging out here for a very, very long time. Whilst the entire push went on, he's been looking for the biggest flank, the biggest long con, the biggest supreme display of talent, and he will die looking for that opportunity. Mammoth a little bit too strong so far. They're low, but the stasis effects are broken. The resets of these cooldowns is too strong. Triple team fights.